The Cole Heyward House is one of Old Town Bluffton's antebellum houses located in the historic district that became a house museum in 1998 that brings in over 12,000 people every year for tours and visits. I'm here today at the Bluffton Heyward House. I'm here with the director, Katie Epps. Katie, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So how did you get started with the Bluffton Heyward House?
Well, I was working a job about 45 minutes away, and I wanted a job closer to home, and so I applied here and became the manager and eventually the director of the Heyward House.
Okay, so as a director, what work do you do?
I do everything from doing house tours, walking tours, conducting and planning school programs. As a nonprofit, we do everything. So we clean, we fix, we greet visitors. We see about 12,000 visitors here a year, so a lot.
So can you explain some of the history of this Heyward House?
Yeah. The Heyward House was built in 1841 as a summer resort for a local plantation owner named John James Cole. After the Civil War, the Coles rented the home out to the Heyward family, and they lived here for 5 generations. So the Historical Society purchased it in 1998. It became a house museum, and then we became the official welcome center for Bluffton in 2000.
Okay, awesome. So what rooms are typically on tour here on a given day?
Well, we have 4 main rooms: a gentleman's parlor, a ladies' parlor, a dining room, and a sewing room. We also have 2 outbuildings, an original slave cabin, and a reconstructed summer kitchen.
Awesome. So do you have any project ideas or plans for the house or historic Bluffton?
Yeah, we are doing a restoration project of the Heyward House right now, and also we are replacing signs that are in front of all the historic contributing structures in the historic district. We're replacing those throughout Bluffton, so we have between that and planning a summer camp for children, we're pretty busy.
Oh, yes, I bet. All right, well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here today with Dr. Cooper from the Bluffton Heyward House. Dr. Cooper, how did you connect with the Heyward House?
Well, after retirement, I knew I'd always wanted to be a docent. And I drove past that place, and I love Old Town Bluffton. And so I just called him up and said, I want to come and be a docent. They said, wonderful, come. And so then I spent a couple of days learning all of the stuff I needed to know about the house and everything. Actually, it was a couple of weeks, truth be told. And then I'm going to be doing my first walking tour of Old Town Bluffton on Wednesday morning with 25 elementary school children.
So what is it specifically that you're doing as a docent besides tours or?
I sort of do anything I'm asked to do, but basically, it's all volunteer. And so it's a welcome center too. So sometimes people just come in and they want somebody to tell them, give them a map or tell them where to eat or whatever. And then the actual tour of the house takes about an hour. We only work 3-hour shifts, which is nice. I've been doing lots of reading about the Civil War, about fashions of that period, and all of that sort of thing, and just meeting wonderful people and having a really good time.
Speaking of fashion, you're wearing this wonderful dress for us today.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us something about it?
Yes, it's a typical dress of the Civil War era, and this is, sometimes it's like this and they have different colors, sometimes it's all the same, but the idea is you have this huge hoop skirt. There's 5 yards of material in this skirt, and you learn how to walk, and I haven't mastered sitting yet, because when you sit it goes whoosh. And so we wear pantaloons in case that happens, although truth be told, I didn't wear mine today. It's too hot, and I don't plan on sitting. And this is a typical blouse. Sometimes they're printed, sometimes you have a little jacket that goes over them, but they're always over the hoop skirt, and they are generally on a string, as is the petticoat. So it fits anybody. So, and then it's just the cummerbund that goes around. And I don't know what shape my bow is in, because usually
Good shape.
my husband ties it for me before I leave. So we have this really great long thing. It's so funny because you just feel so elegant.
I bet, I can imagine. I got one last question for you.
Sure.
What are your future plans for the Bluffton Heyward house?
I don't do future plans since I retired. I don't want to serve on the board. I don't want to do any of those things. I want to do sort of like when I was here, and my favorite part was teaching, and the rest of it was kind of have to do it. And so I'm going to do what I want to do and enjoy it and
Just get into it.
just really get into it.
Well, that sounds great.
I need several more outfits, I've been telling my husband, so I shall get busy on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks.
For more information about the Heyward House or getting involved, call 843-757-6293 or visit haywardhouse.org.